So today in this lecture we will be learning about what is meant by fibrillation as well as what is meant by your defibrillators. Right. So beginning with your word, like what is meant by your fibrillation. So you can take it as any condition or a condition in which the normal rhythmic contractions of atricles or ventricles are replaced by rapid irregular twitching, means irregular contraction of the muscular walls is known as fibrillation. So fibrillation of atria is called as atrial fibrillation, and that of ventricles it is called as ventricle fibrillation. So in case of your atrial fibrillations, okay, so in this the ventricles can still function, but they receive irregular non-rhythmic electrical stimulation from the fibrillating atria, since most of the blood vessels flows into the ventricles due to gravity even before atrial contraction. The blood circulation is still maintained, but it is less efficient. Okay, but in case of your ventricle fibrillation, so in case of your ventricle fibrillation, the ventricles suffer from irregular vibrations or twitching, that is irregular contraction of muscles, and hence they are unable to pump the blood. Okay, so as they are unable to pump the blood, there is a loss of blood supply to the brain, and even loss to blood supply to the brain as well as the other parts of the body. And if there is a loss of the loss of blood supply to the brain even for a short duration of time, okay, even for a few seconds, okay, it leads to brain death. Okay, therefore ventricle fibrillation needs to be arrested, and normal cardiac activity needs to be restored within few seconds, and this is achieved by applying some heavy momentarily high electrical stimulus directly to the chest muscles. Okay, means applying the high electrical impulses or stimulus or external electrical signals directly to the chest muscles, it is called as fibrillation. Means getting out of the heart from fibrillation, okay, by applying some external electrical stimulus is called as defibrillation. Okay, so in case of your defibrillation, there is application of a strong electrical stimulus to bring the cardiac cells simultaneously into a refractory period, thereby arresting their irregular or uncoordinated twitching or uncoordinated contraction, which is called as fibrillation. Then the question rises, what is the need of fibrillation? Ventricular fibrillation is a serious cardiac emergency resulting from asynchronous contraction of heart muscles. This uncoordinated movement of the ventricle walls of the heart may result from coronary occlusion, from electrical shock, or from abnormalities of body chemistry. So because of irregular contraction of muscle fibers, the ventricles simply queer rather than pumping the blood effectively. So this results in steep fall of cardiac output and can prove fatal if adequate steps are not taken properly. In fibrillation, the main problem is that the heart muscle fibers are continuously stimulated by adjacent cells, so there is no synchronized succession of events that follow the heart action stimuli. Ventricular fibrillation can be converted into more efficient rhythm by applying a high energy shock to the heart. This sudden surge across the heart causes all muscle fibers to contract simultaneously. Then the fibers may respond to normal physiological pacemaking pulses. And the instrument which is used for administrating the shock is called as defibrillator. The shock may be delivered to the heart by means of electrodes placed on the chest of the patient, okay, which is called as external defibrillation, or by using the electrodes which are held directly against the heart when the chest is open, which is called as internal defibrillator. So higher voltages are required for external defibrillation than for internal defibrillation. So there are two types depending upon the placement of your electrodes. There are two types of defibrillators. One is AC defibrillation and DC defibrillation, and depending upon the type of voltage or the electrical signal which has been applied. Okay, there are two different types. One we take it as your AC as well as DC, and depending upon the type of electrodes which have been placed, then again we have two types of defibrillators. Either it may be internal defibrillators or external defibrillators. So either it may be any of your cases depending upon the type of the electrical signal or the electrical stimuli which has been applied. Okay, so they are categorized into two. One is your AC defibrillator and DC defibrillation. So looking at the first one, that is your AC defibrillation. Okay, so to correct the arterial defibrillation using AC often results in more serious ventricular fibrillation. So for that reason, as it causes some serious problems or your ventricular fibrillation, so AC defibrillator is no longer used. So the construction of AC defibrillator is shown in figure. So it consists of the step-up transformer with various tappings on the secondary side. Okay, means whatever the voltage required is there, it can be set. Plus it has an electronic timer circuit which is connected to the primary of the transformer. So this timer device is a simple capacitor and a resistor, or it can be a monostable multivibrator, and applying a brief 0.25 to 1 second burst of 60 Hz AC. Okay, act as intensity of around 6 amperes. It acts as counter shock for resynchronization and repeats until defibrillation occurs. It is constructed in such a way that appropriate voltages for internal and external defibrillation are available, and the voltages which are voltage range which is used for external defibrillation, which will lie in anywhere in the range from 250 volt to 750 volt, and the voltage range which is used for internal defibrillation is 60 volt to 250 volt. Okay, so large currents are required in external defibrillation to produce uniform and simultaneous contraction of heart muscles. Okay, so as earlier said, okay, so by using your AC defibrillation, it is an attempt to correct your atrial fibrillation. Okay, but it results in more serious ventricular fibrillation. So for that reason, AC defibrillation is no longer used. Okay, coming to the second one, that is your DC defibrillator. So we have the diagram which has the schematic which is shown in the figure. So the 230 volt AC main supply is connected to variable auto transformer. The output of this, that is auto transformer, is fed to step-up transformer to produce a high voltage. A half-wave rectifier rectifies this high AC voltage to obtain DC voltage, which charges the capacitor C. The voltage to which the capacitor is charged is determined by the auto transformer in primary circuit. A series resistance, that is shunt resistance, that is RS, limits the charging current to protect the circuit components, and an AC voltmeter across the primary is calibrated to indicate energy stored in the capacitor. So with electrodes firmly placed at appropriate position on the chest, okay, the operator or the doctor, okay, discharges the capacitor by changing the switch S from position 1 to position 2. Now the capacitor is discharged through electrodes, and patient is represented by a resistive load and inductor L. So inductor L is used to shape the wave in order to eliminate a sharp undesirable current spike that would otherwise occur at the beginning of discharge. Okay, and whatever the energy is delivered, it is represented by a typical waveform, right? You can observe from the second figure. Okay, so from the figure, the waveform, the area under the curve is proportional to energy delivered. Once the discharge is completed, the switch automatically returns to position 1 and process can be repeated if necessary. Means again the capacitor can be charged, okay, and the capacitor charges. and then the operator or the doctor, okay, means the clinical in charge, he can change the switch from position 1 to position 2, and by placing the electrodes on the chest, the charge which has been stored in the capacitor, it can be discharged or it can be applied to the patient's chest. Okay, and the energy stored in the capacitor is given by the formula W is equal to half CV square, where C is the capacitance and V is the voltage to which the capacitor is charged. Okay, so the next we have the microprocessor based defibrillator. Patient impedance and delivered energy can be directly determined from the peak discharge current if the stored energy and the defibrillator circuit parameters, that is L, R and C, are known. These measurements are automatically made in the modern equipment. Okay, a simplified diagram of the discharge control and recording circuitry of microprocessor based defibrillator, okay, it is shown in the block diagram. The microprocessor determines the corresponding value of stored energy, taking into consideration the defibrillator internal resistance and the patient impedance. The corresponding voltage storage capacitor voltage is sensed and regulated by the microprocessor. The discharge current passes through a current sensing transformer placed in the circuit. The use of sensing transformer provides ground isolation for the patient circuit, yielding a simple method for measuring the discharge current. The transformer provides a voltage that is peak detected and recorded by the microprocessor. The microprocessor takes the measured peak discharge current and uses this value along with the stored energy to determine patient impedance and delivered energy. The microprocessor then delivers a digital display, okay, regarding the peak current, the patient impedance and delivered energy on a strip chart recorder. A paddle contact warning indicator is also activated when the patient impedance exceeds 100 watt. The ECG monitor has an automatic gain setting baseline, that is offset, restore, 60 Hz filter and an effective heartbeat detector. Okay, thank you.